Hi guys, welcome. Danny here from the Magic Junk Drawer. So, it's Wednesday evening, and there were a couple of things that I wanted to talk about today. So, the first thing is, I have a friend of mine who suffers from anxiety pretty much just as bad as I do, and I was telling him that breathing techniques are really helpful. And when I first started doing yoga, I remember like a lot of the studios that I would go to in the beginning of class, they would do a breathing exercise, and it would be so funny because everybody would be sitting there like with their eyes closed doing the breathing exercise, and I would be thinking, what if I inhale for too long and I'm not holding it long enough, and then I exhale too much, and what if I'm not counting correctly, or did I count 4 on this side and 2 on that side? Look, the bottom line is you need to breathe. That's it. If you're breathing, you're doing it right. So there are a couple of techniques that are very helpful. What you can do is, this is what they say. You can thumb and this finger. Wait a minute. No, I'm not doing that right. I think it's the thumb and the ring finger. And these 2 fingers, you can keep them folded in, or you can touch your third eye, whatever you feel more comfortable with. But if you're getting all freaked out over which fingers you should use, just use your thumb and any other finger, because whatever. Inhale, right, for a count of 4. So you count. Seal it. Hold it for 2. Exhale for 4. Now inhale for 4. Hold it. Exhale 4. Inhale. Hold it. Exhale. Now you can pick up the count however you like. You could do 8, hold it for 4, exhale for 4. 8, hold it for 4, exhale for 8. You can do 4, 2, 4. You can just close your eyes and breathe. Or another one that can be helpful is 4s. So inhale for 4, hold it for 4, exhale for 4, empty for 4. Inhale for 4, hold it for 4, exhale for 4, empty for 4. But like I said, you can just close your eyes and focus on your breathing. Now physically, what you can imagine is the ribs expand. They expand out this way when you're breathing, and then they contract, and the belly pulls in, the air comes out. So you can kind of think of your ribs as expanding out wide and then closing and pushing the air up. Sometimes that visual helps. But I have to say, and I've said it before, and I stick to this, my lung capacity has, I don't know, tripled in size since I've been spending, I think it's a combination of spending time in the hot, humid room, and I think it's also a combination of being forced to breathe, because I noticed that my teaching technique, which I have developed, is if I want people to hold a posture, I breathe. So I won't release them until after I'm finished with my breath. I know it sounds kind of crazy, but it's funny because one woman told me that my timing, like she said, she's like, your timing is impeccable. What we do on one side, we do the exact same time on the other side. And she said that the reason why she knows my timing is so close is because she was a dancer, so she's normally used to counting, and she says that she doesn't even count anymore when she takes my classes, because she knows the timing is always like right there, and it's because of my breathing. Like if we're in a posture, I'll inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. And I'm amazed at how long I can do this, or how long. Like sometimes I'll cut my last breath because I know that my breaths are very long. And I'm telling you, I grew up as a kid that had asthma. I had allergies. I was sick all the time. I was at the doctor's office all the time. Uh, so for me to have this capacity, it's a combination of learning how to breathe and a combination of spending time in a humid room. That's what it is, because there's no other explanation for it. So very interesting. And as far as like it calms down the nervous system, another thing that you can do if you're really suffering from anxiety are inversions. And I personally don't think that you should spend a lot of time on your head if you're not strong enough in your upper arms or your upper body strength, because you don't want to press all that weight into the top of your head, because your neck, right, the cervical spine is really just meant to hold your head up, which is only about 7 or 8 pounds. So going upside down and taking your whole body weight and putting it on top of your head is a lot for the cervical spine. So you don't want the weight in your head, and if you don't have the weight in your arms properly, your head is going to take on your body weight. So my suggestion would be you can do something simple like just fold forward. Like you can do wide legs, fold forward, let the blood get into your brain, and it tends to clean out like anxiety, and like getting the blood into your brain is a good thing, changing the direction. Going upside down too sometimes changes your perspective. I also have no problem with people doing things up against the wall. If you use the wall for your support and the wall is taking your body weight and not your head, okay. And you don't have to stay upside down forever, but just long enough to get the blood flowing can kind of quiet the anxiety. So I wanted to talk about those things a little bit. There's all sorts of breathing techniques that you can Google. But like I said, I was getting so caught up in, am I doing it right? Maybe I'm not doing it right. Maybe I'm not going to get the benefit. Maybe that guy's doing it better than me. I'm not sure. Did I hear it right? What, are we in the left nostril? Is it the right nostril? Listen, just breathe. Just breathe. Breathe deep. Try to take in as much as you can. So most of us tend to breathe very shallow. Like we'll just breathe like... Try to really feel those ribs expand. And if you start to take in the air and you put your hands on your ribs, you're going to feel them expand. And then you feel them contract when you exhale. So you can also use other things like little mental techniques where, you know, you inhale something that you feel like you need, like confidence or abundance, and then you exhale negativity, or you blow out discontentment or whatever it is. So that's that. There's all kinds of tricks to that trade. Meditation. Now, I think meditation is great. I also think that we live in a society where it doesn't really fit into our schedules easily, and to tell somebody that they have to sit and meditate for 20 minutes or an hour, I think that causes more anxiety. So this is my suggestion for people that can't meditate or don't meditate. If you take a yoga class, there's going to be a shavasana at the end. Now, most teachers, like I am so particular about time because I know that we're all in a hurry to go to the next place. So I would never let class run over 5 or 10 minutes to give you a meditation. I just would never. And I think that people that come and take my classes, they know that. So if I tell them, you have 3 minutes, you have 3 minutes. I would never say you have 3 minutes and we're already 15 minutes over the time the class was supposed to end. I don't do that. So depending on what studio you go to and how much time you have, you can use the opportunity for your shavasana to go into a small meditation. You can do anything. Like, you know, they always say clear your mind. Well, sometimes it's hard to clear your mind. So focus on something that you want more of. Focus on something that you want to bring into your life. Focus on some kind of an imaginal scene. And just for 2 or 3 minutes, it's all you need to do. Now, when I did, and I've told this story before, when I did my second yoga teacher training, they wanted us to get up every morning and do a 1-minute meditation, which was fine. But they wanted us to add a minute every day. So at the end of the week, okay, 7 minutes. Or, okay, that's fine. But by the end of the month, and it's 32 minutes, and now my first class starts at 6 o'clock, and I have to leave my house at 5 o'clock, it just doesn't work. It doesn't work. I can't get up at 3 o'clock in the morning to sit and meditate because I'm going to fall asleep. So let's be realistic here. Let's do what we can do and not focus on something that is so far out there that we're not going to be able to do, that we can't do, and then we're just going to get frustrated. So what you could do is get to work 2 or 3 minutes early, shut the car off, and just sit there, even with your eyes open. Sometimes I'll use a crystal. I'll just hold it in my hand, shut the car off, hold it in my hand, and just breathe. 2 or 3 minutes, that's it. And you may find that you start to crave these couple of minutes. Like you start to arrive places a couple of minutes early so that you can get that in, because it's calming and it's relaxing. And we don't have much time to do that. Like we're at this place, the next place, so on and so forth. And a lot of times, like people are in such a hurry, and I'm one of those people. So when I talk about other people, I'm just as guilty. Like when I would take a yoga class, like I would get there 10 minutes before class, and I was like the first person out the door. Not necessarily the first person out of the yoga room, but I wasn't a lollygagger. Like I wasn't going to stop and talk to this person and that person and how you doing and how, this, that, and the next thing. So I came out of the class, I threw my jacket on, I was out the door. I mean, I was out of the parking lot and down the street before the door even closed. That's just me. I'm just like that. I'm one of those people that I've always had to, what's the next thing? I got to get it done. It's got to get done. And never being late, always being on time, very punctual. I mean, I fall apart at my house. Like my house things can be upside down. My car looks like somebody lives in it. But as far as me getting things done when it comes to work or places I have to be, I'm there. People that know me know that. Like even today, I have my classes at 12. Generally, I would be there at 11:30 if I had nobody in the studio, but the manager was there and staff help. So I was shooting to be there by 11:40, which even still is early because there's somebody there. But I got caught behind one of those trucks that have like a lot of lumber on it, and they had the blinkers on, and they were going really slow, which of course was infuriating me because I'm like, I'm going to be late. I'm going to be late. I wasn't going to be late. I was going to be late for me. And when I got there, I'm like, I had a lot of obstacles trying to get here because, this truck. And my manager said, she's like, this is late for you. And she's like, when I saw it was 11:45 and you weren't here yet. And then I was like, I know she's on her way. She's got to be coming. And then I also had to stop for a school bus. So, like we're in such a routine that we can't even stop. Like if you can't stop for 2 minutes somewhere and just sit, like that's something to think about. So you might find those little tips helpful, because they're not like, it's not like I'm telling you to go out and run a marathon. You don't have to give up your entire day. You just have to find 2 minutes. Hell, you could go into the bathroom at work and sit in the bathroom for 2 minutes. It's helpful. And you may find, like I said, that you kind of crave these couple of minutes every now and again. You could do it a couple of times a day if it helps, because I know anxiety is just, it's a killer. So the other thing that's come up, and I mentioned this the other day, the lease on my car is up. It's up the end of June. And when I leased it with the intention to buy it because I do way too many miles for a lease. And I got a letter in the mail the other day saying that the dealership would take back the car by March 31st if I wanted another one. And this is the last year that they're making the Beetle. And I would be lying if I told you that I didn't want another one, because I love it. And it's like a total identity crisis, because everybody that knows me is like, what are you going to drive? Like, you have to drive that car forever because that car is you. Like, people are always like, that car looks like you. And I don't even know how to take that, but I understand it. It does. It looks like me. So, the dilemma here is I am way over the mileage because I intended to buy it. And at the time, I literally leased the car on June 30th, picked it up on July 1st, A&P went bankrupt on July 19th. So I just took on a car payment and then lost a job. So it's been a little bit of a struggle. Like this wasn't something I would have done had I known that I was losing the job. And also with that kind of mileage, like I knew I'm gonna have to buy it. So I was thinking, like, this is where I'm thinking, like, law of attraction. And I'm not exactly sure which way I want to go with it, because law of attraction, right? Focus on what you want. I do want a new one, because if I'm going to be paying a car loan and it's going to be for the same amount of money that I'm paying now, I may as well have a car that doesn't have any miles on it, and that I'm not going to worry about having to put, you know, work into it or get stuck with it or whatever. Like a brand new car is just different. Come on. Now, the other thing is I do want a lower payment. So I think that if I buy my car, my payment will be lower than what I'm paying now. So here's the dilemma. I'm not sure of which one I want to put out into the universe. Like, what do I want to focus on? Getting the new car and not having to worry about fixing anything, or, you know, worried about needing tires or any of that stuff, because I kind of looked at my back tires today and they look like they probably need to be replaced. But the salesman called me today, and I was going to go over there just to, you know, see if I could work the numbers, because a lot of people had been telling me that most dealerships will forgive you for the over mileage if you leave with a new car. And especially at the end of the month, if they're trying to make a quota, they probably want to move a car. And let's face it, for the dealership to take my car and fix whatever needs to be fixed, or, you know, revamp it, it wouldn't cost them, you know, wouldn't cost them that much. I mean, whatever. But the guy, when I told him how far I was over in mileage, he was like, it'll cost you $8,000. That's great. So I was like, he was like, you got to buy that car. So I was like, all right, that wasn't really what I was hoping to hear, but I'm trying to decide now, what do I think I want, like, to put out into the universe? Because let's face it, could I take it to another dealership and maybe get a deal? Maybe they would take it back. Maybe somebody else that's looking to move a car. I don't know. I mean, I bought both my cars from the same guy. And if I were to buy a third car from him, I mean, like, that's a pretty loyal customer in my book, you know, for a car dealership, because people, you know, people change their minds and people change what they want. And for me to buy 3 Beetles from the same guy, like, you would think that he would want to keep me happy. So I'm not sure if I'm going to try to put that out into the universe, that maybe there's something he can do about my being over the mileage. I also didn't mention that somebody backed into it and there's a scratch on it. I mean, the scratch isn't that bad, but it's the scratch, yeah, at the gas station. And I knew this guy was going to do it. And I should have leaned on the horn, because you know me, I lean on that horn. But I was concentrating on trying to get out of the gas station parking lot, and then boom, he backed into me. And I was like, this is a lease. I'm not going to be able to return it. Meanwhile, in my head, I'm thinking, you're 40,000 miles over your contract. You're not going to be able to return it anyway. And I didn't make a big deal because it really isn't noticeable, and I didn't have time to wait for a police report because I had to go to work. And, you know, it was like, it's a scratch. It's like a very tiny little dent that you really have to look at to see it. And, I mean, obviously Volkswagen will see it because they'll be looking for it. But, you know, how badly you want to move a car, okay? I don't know. I don't know. So, as of right now, I don't really have to make a decision. Well, I don't have to make a decision until the end of June. But if I wanted the new one from this dealership, I would have to make the decision like in 2 days. And you know, Mercury is going direct tomorrow, but it's awfully close to the retrograde period. I wouldn't feel comfortable making a decision right now anyway. So I'm pretty much thinking that I'm going to look into turning my lease over into a finance, but I'm not sure exactly what I want to put out into the universe. And I know that that's the worst part, because when you're not sure, it's like that's what you're going to get. You're going to get, well, maybe this and maybe that and maybe this and maybe that. Or maybe your payments will go down $100. Oh, but maybe the car will die. Or, you know, it's like it's going to be up and down because I have to make the decision. Hey, I said stop barking. So anyhow, this is what I'm dealing with. This is what, and I will not let this situation make me a victim because I keep saying to myself, even if I turn the car over, right, turn it over and I buy it, like the guy said today, he's like, pay on it another year, see what you have left, and then we can always see what we can do next year. The thing is that they're not going to have the Beetle next year. They're bringing back the bus, but I mean, let's be real. I don't need the bus. I mean, the bus would be cool. I mean, I could have a lot of fun with that bus, but it ain't the Beetle. And I don't know, it's just, I've been driving a convertible for so long. I don't want to be in a hard top. I don't know. This is like, it's like an identity crisis I'm having here. It's like a full-on identity crisis. And then, like the colors that they have, I was looking at, I have a friend of mine who's sending me all of the quotes. And I'm like, you're not helping me out here. He's like, they have the blue one here at this dealership and that dealership. Quiet. So that's my thing. And I know that that's my problem. I have to make the decision and get clear on exactly what I want. Do I want a new car, or do I want to just finance this one, pay it off or pay most of it off, and then turn around in a year or two and get something completely different? You know, there's just certain perks to driving a Volkswagen because the gas tank is on the right-hand side, so you don't ever have to wait at gas stations because all the other cars have it on the left. So I always pull right in and get gas and pull out. All right, come on, knock it off. Well, I think that's about it for today. Dylan, come on. Please don't mind my pajamas. And this sweatshirt, it looks like I've had it for 30 years. This sweatshirt's been through a lot with me. It's all torn up. Look at the sleeves. But I think that's about it. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you try any of those breathing exercises or the meditation tips. Another meditation that I've been working on with a lot of my classes that I find to be really helpful is the image of a candle. So think about the image of a candle. You can connect with it in so many ways. You can see it. You can feel the heat. You can smell it. You can watch the wax melt. You can see the candlestick. You know, like you can see the wax melt. So focusing on just an image of a candle I find to be very helpful. So you can give that a shot. Let me know what you think of that. All right, if you like what we're doing here at the Magic Junk Drawer, don't forget to like and subscribe, share us with your friends, and we will see you soon. I think that's it. I'm gonna turn on my pineapple lamp. Oh, it's not plugged in. I mean, look, this is how we roll in this house. Hang on, let me see if I can get it to plug in. You know. There we go. Oh, well, why does it have to be so... Listen, this is an iPhone 6 I'm working on here, so that's got to get upgraded too one of these days. It's the iPhone 6S that I have. We're going to have to upgrade it. Not yet, though. I mean, it's all right. All right. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.